All right, welcome to NCSA Live. My name is Kyle Winters, recruiting manager here at NCSA. Talking to you guys again about another fantastic recruiting element. We have a great topic for you guys. If you guys have questions, make sure that you're shouting them out, and whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, put them in the comments section. We'll answer those questions in the Q&A section at the end of the broadcast here today. I am joined yet again by probably my favorite guest. I'm just going to cancel everybody else out. It's not even guest, co-host, I should say. I'm sorry for not giving you enough credit. Christy Nassivity Cicero. Christy, how are you today?
Kyle, you give me way too much credit. So I am doing fantastic with that introduction. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. And honestly, I couldn't laud you highly enough. It's just, I'm very fortunate to have you to talk about recruiting and just to make me look better above anything else, which is not hard to do, unfortunately. But Christy, we have a fantastic topic today. It's how scholarships can help student athletes pay for colleges. So we're going to talk about ways to pay for college without breaking the bank, which, yeah, that's incredibly difficult. What is a scholarship? Different types of scholarships in general, where to find scholarships. Then we'll take your questions here at the end. But paying for college in the first place, you have to know your financial options. Christy, talk us through some of just the financial options that are in there.
I will do my very best to give like a general overview of what scholarships and financial aid is all about without giving away everything about our Facebook Live today. But essentially, there are a few different options when it comes to paying for college. One, everybody knows, mainly because it's the most talked about, is athletic scholarship. There are certain student athletes out there that receive, before, kind of going into anything deeper, I just want to say full athletic scholarships are far few and in between. Again, we definitely want to talk about them, but just want to kind of set the stage for what we talk about when it comes to athletic scholarships. Another type of scholarship is academics. How well you do in the classroom, what colleges are looking for within academics. And then there are something called merit scholarships, which a lot of people might not know about. So, Kyle, I think you might be diving in a little bit more into each individual scholarship, which I would love to help you chat about. But those are our kind of three main talking points today.
Yeah, I definitely can't carry the full load of going through all the scholarships. I don't think. But the reason we talk about scholarships, and sure this comes as no surprise to everybody out there listening, is that college is expensive. If we're looking at like public four-year schools, in-state tuition fees, it's an average of $9,212 per year. Out-of-state tuition, we're talking about $26,382 per year. Private four-year school, $31,875 per year. Again, per year. So scholarships, yeah, we can assume that that's going to be an important part of the process. So what are the different kind of scholarships that are out there? What is a scholarship in the first place? A scholarship is a grant or payment made to support a student's education awarded based on their academics, their athletics, or any other types of achievements. So that's why it's important. So it's another way to get essentially free money to pay for scholarship. It can pay for tuition, can pay for registration fees, room and board, miscellaneous, food programs. There are a lot of different things that they can pay for. Essentially, they're paying for all the costs that come along with just going to college in the first place, especially along with being an athlete. So first and foremost, athletic scholarships. This is going to be any scholarship that's awarded to an athletically qualified student at a college coach's discretion. Every sport has a different allotment of scholarships. Every level has different allotments of scholarships. There are different differences between fully funded programs and non-fully funded programs. Like Georgetown softball is a very good example. I used to coach with a woman who played at Georgetown, where college softball, I want to say there's around, I think it's 11 scholarships at the Division I level, but Georgetown was not fully funded. So they only had 3 athletic scholarships that could be divvied about their entire team. Okay. So most sports are not going to be full ride scholarship types of sports. There's a couple that stand out: men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, football. Those are really the four main sports where if you get a scholarship, it's going to be a full ride scholarship. And that's obviously different than a partial scholarship where you're going to want to have academic scholarships involved with that as well. Christy, I'll kind of turn it back to you. You were a college coach yourself. You were a college athlete as well. You can probably break down for us the importance of, having that academic side of things on top of the athletic scholarship as well as anybody.
Yeah. So I will, I definitely want to start off by saying we want every student athlete that we work with, or not even work with, just any student athlete, if you guys can get a full scholarship, bless you. It's such an amazing feeling to get everything paid for college. When and Kyle, I think that you could also attest to this potentially, but I didn't realize the magnitude of my scholarship until I got into the adult world and met my spouse and just kind of did adult things like paying taxes and paying off student loans, which I didn't have to do. So I want to make sure that the precedent is set that full scholarships are very far few and in between. It's a right. You have to 100% earn it. So if you are listening on this call, whether you're a parent or a student athlete, just know that a full athletic scholarship, again, like Kyle was kind of mentioning, like the different numbers between full scholarships, they are very far few and in between. Now, even though I was a little bit negative on that, saying like, hey, full scholarship might not be in your future, there are so many other things that you can do, such as the importance of academics goes incredibly far when it comes to scholarships. I'll give you an example. I used to coach at a Division I school, fairly high academic engineering school. And when we had a new head coach come in, we would offer full scholarships to kids, but they had to meet an academic requirement. So let's just say, hey, Kyle Winters, I offer you a 100% full ride scholarship, but you have to maintain a 3.5 GPA. If you don't maintain that 3.5 GPA, we're going to take away the academic part of your scholarship. Very, very, very important to know what kind of scholarship you are signing up for and offered, right? But at the end of the day, like Kyle asked, is what academics play into this whole thing. Academics is 100% the full forefront of a scholarship, because if you do not have the academics outside of athletic ability, you probably will not be offered any sort of scholarship. And again, we're talking about kind of like athletic scholarships right now. There's academic scholarships and merit scholarships, just like I kind of, explained a little bit in the beginning, is if you have higher GPAs and higher academics, you are going to get more money to pay for your college. So that's like a pretty general, very brief overview, Kyle. So hopefully you could take it away from here.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, like Christy talked about, GPA, ACT, SAT scores. Those are going to be the big factors on whether or not you're able to get an academic scholarship. Personally, I had a full ride scholarship to play baseball at the University of New Mexico, which is misleading because it was not a full ride baseball scholarship. It was probably not a whole lot of baseball scholarship money. I had okay grades in high school, was decent, and had an okay ACT score. So they were able to add on a lot of academic scholarship on top of that to bring it up to a full ride scholarship. That's what is known as stacking. But a full ride athletic scholarship, it's only about 1% of student athletes have that type of opportunity. When we talk about merit-based scholarships, which Christy alluded to, they're similar to academic scholarships, but it's not necessarily just based around a student athlete's academics. They can be, and they're generally going to be more referred to we're talking about like Division III schools, as Division III schools do not have athletic scholarships at all. So any type of scholarship money for a student athlete going to Division III school, it's going to be a merit-based scholarship. It can be because the student athlete displays athletic or artistic achievements, if they hold leadership positions, if they're involved with clubs or extracurriculars, participate in community service, awarded for their achievements like the National Honor Society. If they have high grades, test scores, academics can play a factor as well. So merit-based scholarships, those are a little bit more fungible. They're not necessarily as set in stone, and they can be awarded out to student athletes based on the availability of what they have and what that student athlete's done. So when we talk about Division III schools where there is no athletic scholarship money, merit-based scholarships are going to be a huge key. And a big misconception is that with Division III, you don't need to get recruited. You can just show up to school, try out for the team, and go play. That being said, college coaches at Division III level, they're very much recruiting student athletes the same way. And better relationship, the more highly recruited you are looking at a Division III school, the more merit-based scholarship you're going to be able to get. Again, that's not hard and fast plan, but it's going to be better off than not having any sort of connection. So now that we've talked about the three types of different scholarships out there, we can talk about the other miscellaneous ways to get school paid for. Because again, it's expensive. So Christy, where can people find other available scholarships out there?
Yeah, there's first and foremost, definitely look on a website for each individual school. So if you look at harvard.edu or whatever the case may be, whatever school you're looking at, definitely go look at financial aid and then go back to all the potential merit scholarships, academic requirements for that school. This is going to be silly, and I don't think it's going to be within our script, if you will. But if you straight up look at college academic scholarships, you will find an incredible amount of information. We offered, I think it was like 85% of her athletic scholarship, and the rest had to come from academics. She looked up other athletic or academic scholarships, and she found something absolutely absurd about like Harry Potter. And she got like $300 towards her books. So if you Google is going to be your best friend. Google any sort of merit, academic, just random scholarship, or not even scholarship, just loan and merit opportunities. You're going to find them. So Kyle, that's what I have for you on this. Again, there's so many different directions that I could turn into, but we only have a half hour.
Wait, Christy, they give you a script. They give you what you're going to talk about when they're coming on here. I've been just kind of winging it all these years.
I mean, listen, we wing it, but I didn't know if it was acceptable to talk about like the Harry Potter merit scholarship. So I threw that in there for fun.
Well, of course,
because that is a real thing.
Who doesn't know about the Harry Potter scholarship? Of course. But yeah,
I didn't.
A couple other resources out there: scholarships.com. fastweb.com. Those are a couple websites, a couple partners of ours that we work with as well. Just doing research, like Christy said, go through your high school, go check with your guidance counselor, local opportunities, whether they're clubs in your area, youth organizations, volunteering nonprofits, community organizations, businesses that are out there, state, national organizations, volunteering, military, employer scholarships, first generation legacies. There's all sorts of different opportunities out there for scholarships, and again, they're there for you. So use your resources, be resourceful. But again, it's going to relate back to the steps that you're taking in recruiting leading up to this. Scholarships don't just appear out of nowhere, especially when it comes to getting a scholarship to play in college, to be an athlete. So use your resources. I know, Christy, I wanted to kick it back to you real quick before we go to the Q&A. I know that you have a lot of experience with Division III and wanted to talk a little bit more about the merit-based scholarship side of things with Division III schools.
Yeah. So when it comes, and let me backtrack a little bit, because I know that you said something about Division III schools, and this whole conversation is about scholarships, right? But you made a comment saying, hey, Division III schools, they still recruit and they still do their due diligence, even though they cannot actively offer you a scholarship. I really wanted to make it known that if you are feeling that your son, daughter, even if you're a player, if you don't think that you can make it to Division I, Division II, which again, any time that you can make it to college athletics, you are beyond blessed and you are beyond fortunate to have this opportunity. When it comes to Division III athletics, even though they cannot offer you particular athletic or academic scholarships, and it comes down to the school with academic and merit scholarships, they still recruit. So don't take Division III lightly by any means. Saying, well, you know what? I'm a 2022. I'm a basketball player. I'm just going to walk on to, X, Y, and Z Division III school. That's not how it works. I know that this conversation is revolving around scholarships, but I think it's stupidly important to note that Division III, they recruit. I could speak on behalf of my own spouse, who is a Division III soccer coach. They are recruiting 2024s, and Division III does not offer athletic scholarships. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of where, D3 is, even though I don't like to say that. But I guess scholarship opportunities, they matter, right? It's an amazing, amazing feeling to receive a scholarship offer. But if you could receive just any sort of offer, whether it's athletic scholarship, academic scholarship, merit scholarship, or heck, just even a spot on the team, you've made it. You have absolutely made it. And again, I know that we're talking about how to afford college. And here at NCSA, our recruiting coaches, recruiting coordinators, recruiting specialists, we will do whatever it takes to help you out with that. But just know, all right. I know that we can't, they cannot offer athletic scholarships, but they are recruiting, they're offering. And that's what I have to say about D3, Kyle. Thank you so much for letting me talk about that. I really appreciate it.
That very, very eloquent soliloquy. Yeah, at the end of the day, there's Division III teams that can beat Division I teams in probably every sport. They're great opportunities. At the end of the day, we're talking about being a collegiate athlete, and that's something that you can have on your resume for the rest of your life. And when it comes to your job and where you're going to be working after that, being a collegiate athlete is something that's going to set you apart from every other candidate that's going for that job. And it doesn't matter what level you played at. I played professional sports. My boss played Division III football. Other people around here that were above me played lower level sports than I did. At the end of the day, being a collegiate athlete is just going to set you apart from other applicants in the rest of your life. It sets you up for the next 40 years in a really good way. So great point by Christy. Let's see if we have some questions coming in. Again, if you guys have questions about this topic or anything else in recruiting, let us know and we'll address that. So our first question here, we have Jennifer's asking about, so athletic scholarship money, it's awarded to the student after academic scholarships merits are offered first. And so not exactly, Jennifer. Typically, it's going to be kind of all wrapped in one. At least that's how it was for me. They're gonna kind of put together a pack and say, this is what we have for you athletically, academically. It comes out to all of this together, merit based. We're lumping that all in together. They may give you a breakout of that. I don't remember them giving me a breakout of that, but I wasn't very sharp there anyways. But yeah, they'll kind of give you an insight to that. Maybe if you haven't taken your test scores yet, or you haven't taken ACT or SAT, they may not be able to give you that academic scholarship side of things just yet. But Christy, you have way more experience. You're a coach who actually gave these factors out to people.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's a little bit difficult to relate to every single sport, mainly because I was a women's college hockey coach in Division III and Division I. But after talking to so many of our colleagues, if you are offered any sort of athletic scholarship, your academics have been very much so factored in. I'll give you an example. There was a student athlete the year that I left college coaching that we offered a 2/4 scholarship. And what I mean by 2/4, and I just want to say a 2/4 scholarship in the eyes of where I was personally coaching is not necessarily the same as every other school. So again, this is just simply an example. But we offered this kid a 2/4 scholarship, and we offered everything to be paid for. But if she didn't meet her academic requirements, we're taking that off the table. So when you're going into a college situation, you want to make, like, regardless if you know that you're going to get offered an athletic or academic, whatever the case may be, go in there with the best, highest academic intentions that you possibly have, because certain sports have different levels of scholarships. So again, speaking from a hockey experience, we have, I think, like 15 to 16 full ride scholarships. That decreases by football, basketball, soccer, golf, every single sport, right? So again, I'm just speaking on behalf of hockey, and I can tell you very much so that in hockey, as much as we want to offer a Team Canada or Team USA a full scholarship ride, we're thinking in the back of our heads, how can we make the most money out of this kid? Can we offer her a 90 to 100 scholarship where we'll pay 90%, but if you stay above a 3.0 GPA, we'll give you the rest. If you fail at that, that's on you. So that's another very important part of the scholarship process. And again, circling back to the question is, when do they, kind of talk about athletics and academics? It's always going to be in one. There's a very particular reason why college coaches will offer you X amount. Granted, it might be athletics, it might be academic, it's going to be both. So just know that going in to a conversation with a college coach.
Yeah, and along those lines, the academic scholarship is going to be more guaranteed based on maintaining your specific grades when you get into college. So it's going to be a better scholarship in the long run, whereas an athletic scholarship is usually year to year. So, I mean, that's where it's so important to have those both those aspects of a scholarship going into college, and just have that communication with coaches to know what you're looking at, what it's going to represent for you when you get to that university. Cool. I think we have another question that came in here. Don asked, timeline for accepting financial aid scholarship package for class of 2022 Division III schools. It's going to be hard for us to answer with a broad brush on this one, Don, because Division III schools, they're very independent. They're really not regulated by the NCAA. They don't really fall under their purview. They're going to run kind of their own show and have their own situation, and their rosters are going to be their own setup. They might have more kids playing on a team than like a Division I school because they can. They run their own program. They do whatever they want. So as far as like the timeline to make those decisions, talk with the school, talk with the administration or admissions, talk with the coach to get a better feel on where they're at in their process. Again, it probably makes sense to go back to Christy. You were the D3 coach, so you can probably speak to it, as adroitly as anybody I know.
Yeah, I mean, great question, Don. Greatly appreciate that you asked this. Unfortunately, the best answer that we can give to you is it really is super dependent on each college, right? So I coached at a SUNYAC school, which is a state university school, and we would have rolling admissions, whereas I'm not even going to throw out any school names, but there are some other schools that require a deadline of applications, student enrollment, admissions, financially, so on and so forth. So I unfortunately will keep this open-ended for you, Don, but it really does depend on each school and which school you're applying to. So
Cool.
Definitely do your research.
Yep. Awesome. Really good question. Again, Division III, there's probably more opportunities at Division III programs for most sports than there are at D1 and D2 combined. For softball, I think there's 400 to, maybe like 700 in Division I, Division II. So great opportunities for you guys as student athletes. Again, if you're looking for more information on the different types of scholarships there are out there, or how to earn a scholarship, or what it takes to get that type of opportunity, go to our website, ncsasports.org, or reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to talk with you about your specific student athlete and what they can be doing to maximize their chances of earning a scholarship to play their sport in college. Awesome. We're going to turn it to our commitments here for the day, talk through some student athletes who've done exactly that, who've gotten a scholarship most likely and are going on to play at the collegiate level. So our first commit here today is Aiden Tumbleson. He's headed to Manhattanville College. He's a baseball player out of New Jersey originally. Ton of work put into his NCSA profile. He had 91 views, 40 follows. He had 138 emails that were opened by college coaches that he sent out directly through our network here. Was viewed 5 times by Manhattanville College, so had a ton of success with them and was able to get a lot of his exposure to those coaches directly through his NCSA profile. So congrats to you, Aiden, heading to Manhattanville College.
Awesome. And next up we have Brianna Botkin. Sorry if I butchered the name here, but she committed to McDaniel College. Girl got to work when she created a profile with us. She appeared in 285 views, 338 searches, and 122 college coaches followed her, which is absolutely absurd. As you can see, on our screen, she committed to McDaniel College, where she had over 11 emails back and forth just within her NCSA profile, and obviously committed to her. And within McDaniel College, she appeared in views over 80 times, which good for you, Brianna. We are so proud of you for putting in the work on your profile. Again, super proud that she committed to McDaniel College. But Kyle, here for us.
Awesome. Last one here for today. Kaylee Kaszewski. I think I nailed that. Headed to Illinois Wesleyan University out of Batavia, Illinois, originally. Similar stats to the other student athletes we talked about today. 285 views, 185 emails that were opened by college coaches. Within student athletes' NCSA profiles, they're able to favorite their schools and keep a list of their schools they're favoriting and are very passionate about. Christy, if you had to take a guess, how many schools would you guess that Kaylee favorited through her NCSA profile?
15?
1. Illinois Wesleyan.
Whoa!
Illinois Wesleyan. She emailed with them 4 times, got 6 views with the coaches there at the program. There's her one favorite school listed in her profile. That's where she's headed. So that's what we talk about with great success. So congrats to you, Kaylee. Outstanding job with your recruiting process. Congrats to all of our commits here today. And if you guys are out there thinking about your student athlete, want us to shout them out, let us know. We'll be more than happy to talk through their success as well. But another really good, successful Tuesday for us, talking about scholarships. You can take the steps you guys need to be proactive. Don't wait around hoping that scholarships are just going to fall in your lap, because they're not going to. Same thing goes for roster spots. So be proactive. Any final thoughts, Christy?
With the last ring the bell commitment, I kind of want to have a conversation about finding the right school, even though that would take up at least 2 to 3 hours. But that's my last thought.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we talk about transferring all the time, and that's just not a process you go through as a student athlete. So yeah, to be able to create a list, narrow it down over the course of your 4 years, and zero in on the school that's the absolute right fit for you, regionally, academically, athletically, culturally, everything that fits what you're looking for. that's really the ultimate goal that we're hoping for, and that you can use your senior year as a victory lap. So congrats again to all of our commits. CNC, great seeing you as always. We'll see you guys again next Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Time. Have a great rest of your week, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.